Okay, welcome. So today we're going to begin exploring the Gospel of Matthew. So let's begin with the first verse. The first verse reads, "The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham." And in this video, we're just going to be focusing on this first line, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ. So let's get this verse in Greek. So in Greek, I don't speak Greek, so I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Biblios Geneos Jesus Christus. So Biblios means book, Geneos means genealogy, and Jesus Christus means of Jesus Christ. We know what this section means. We know what Jesus Christ means. So let's get rid of this. And we're just mainly going to be focusing on this statement here. Biblios, book of genealogy. Now this is a peculiar statement, because it's clear that this sentence is introducing the book of Matthew. But by saying book of the genealogy, he makes it seem as if the entire book of Matthew is a genealogy. Or perhaps he's just introducing the genealogy, because we know what follows next in the Gospel of Matthew is a genealogy. So perhaps this statement is just introducing the genealogy. And this is really a debated concept in the commentaries. But before we get into that, let's just acknowledge the fact that all translations, nearly all of them, render this word as genealogy. For instance, ESV, New Revised Standard Version, and NIV all render it as genealogy. And that has led Dale Allison in his book to write, "These translations consistently render Biblios Geneos by genealogy or some equivalent such as record of the ancestry or family tree. This unanimity of the English versions would seem to imply that Matthew 1:1 is a heading for the genealogy." That's an important statement right there. Matthew 1:1, it would seem to imply that Matthew 1:1 is a heading for the genealogy. That is a heading for chapter 1 verses 2 to 17. When one turns to the commentaries, however, one quickly learns that there is no accord at all concerning the meaning and function of Matthew's first few words. So what he's saying is the fact that almost all translations render the Greek word geneos as genealogy makes it seem as if Matthew is only introducing his genealogy. But then he goes on to say, but in fact, commentators do not agree on this at all. They don't really know what Matthew is introducing here. And this question is put really nicely by David L. Turner in his commentary. He writes, "This verse provides a sort of title for what follows, but for how much of what follows?" So basically what they're saying is this. Let's imagine that this is a visual representation of the gospel, and let's divide it into 3 sections. So we've got the genealogy, then we've got the origin account of Jesus. So this is things like his infancy narrative and also his pre-ministry. So things like John the Baptist, his baptism, his temptation, all the way up to the Sermon on the Mount in chapter 5. So that's the origins. Let's call that the origin. And then we've got the rest of the gospel all the way to the resurrection. So these are the 3 sections of Matthew. Now, is this statement the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ? Well, it's got the word genealogy in it. So surely it is just introducing the genealogy. Is it? Perhaps. Some commentators are going to say, no, in fact, it's introducing the genealogy and the origins of Jesus. And then others are going to point out, hey, they got book in the title. It's called Book of the Genealogy. It's referring to the whole book, right? It's the whole gospel that Matthew's referring to. So in these next few videos, we're going to be analyzing what commentaries say and what scholars say and see if we can come to a conclusion about what, in fact, the first verse of Matthew is introducing. And I hope you join me.